Mr. Gadhafi knows what he must do. There needs to be a ceasefire. His forces need to withdraw from the cities that they have forcibly taken at great violence and human cost. There needs to be a decision made about his departure from power, and as the foreign minister said, his departure from Libya.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hillary back in 2011. We've since found out that members of the Pentagon were upset. They didn't trust Hillary. They thought she was ginning up a war, ginning up reasons to get rid of Gadhafi. Also, Dennis Kucinich, who we'll hear from in a second on an audio tape, was involved. He spoke to Gadhafi's son. Joining us now, Clare Lopez, member of the Citizens Commission on Benghazi, Vice President for Research and Analysis at the Center for Security Policy. And Clare, we spoke about a week or two ago, and we talked about Benghazi, but these new revelations of these recordings that showed the Pentagon didn't trust Hillary, Kucinich didn't trust Hillary. There must have been many others.
I would expect so. We're very glad to see these revelations coming out now in the media, because the Citizens Commission on Benghazi, as a matter of fact, talked about the discussions that were held between Gadhafi's people and Stuttgart, Germany, where AFRICOM, General Carter Ham's command, AFRICOM, was located in March of 2011. And during those discussions, Gadhafi made very clear that he was willing to enter into a white flag of truce, set of talks to discuss his abdication and exile. The war never had to happen, except that certain people in the highest ranks of the Obama administration, including Secretary of State Clinton, wanted to be sure not only that Gadhafi was gone, but that their favorite opposition militias, the rebel militias belonging to Al-Qaeda, would take over.
That is, I don't doubt any of it, but it is sick. But it's consistent with what we've seen not only in Libya, but around the Middle East, whether it's the Muslim Brotherhood or the groups like you just mentioned that we fought alongside and are fighting alongside in places like Syria. Let's listen to Dennis Kucinich speaking with Saif al-Islam Gadhafi, Gadhafi's son. Here it is.
Saif speaking.
Yes, this is Dennis.
Nice to hear you.
I think it's important that we talk, because I'm trying to get information that I need to advise members here exactly what's going on, and to make sure that any information that is being communicated through other channels here in the government actually gets to members of Congress as well, so that we are totally aware of what the position is of the Libyan government.
In other words, we don't trust the State Department. We don't trust Hillary to provide accurate information.
The policy of the Obama administration, very clearly from the beginning of its tenure in 2009, was to change U.S. policy towards Islam, the Islamic world. The Cairo speech of June 2009 indicated that, and we saw that playing out certainly in Egypt, where the United States strongly backed the Brotherhood, also in Libya. Now, the point about Libya that's very important here is that the United States jumped into that civil war on the side of the Al-Qaeda and Muslim Brotherhood rebels in March of 2011, shortly, a few weeks after the rebellion broke out. Not because, as the administration claimed, there was going to be a massacre, a genocide in Benghazi. No, it was because Gadhafi's forces were in a position where they might have taken over Benghazi. They might have defeated the rebel forces at Benghazi, and that was critical because Benghazi was the cradle of the revolution. If that city had fallen to Gadhafi, the revolution likely would have failed right then and there.
All right, let me ask you, Clare, not to interrupt, but let me ask you, why? Why does this administration want the rebels to win, the Al-Qaeda-linked rebels to win that revolution? Why?
Well, because as the Citizens Commission on Benghazi interim report of April 2013 pointed out, our administration has switched sides. That's not widely understood. Our administration is not on the side of our traditional allies and those like Gadhafi who was fighting against Al-Qaeda. our administration has switched sides in the global jihad wars in order to support the rise to power of Islamic jihadis, Sunnis in North Africa, Iran, and the Shiites in the Persian Gulf region.
Yeah, it is frightening. And Claire, I can't wait to talk to you again as this progresses. And you do such great work over there on both fronts. Thank you very much for joining us again, Claire.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, folks. It is frightening. It is frightening. But it is apparent that there is something very, very wrong here with our foreign policy. All right, George Pataki is next.